You see the patterns others miss. You understand the game while others are just playing their parts. And the more you learn, the more you see, the more alone you feel. You have been told this loneliness is a sign of weakness. Niccolò Machiavelli taught that for a ruler, for a true strategist, this solitude is not a curse. It is the ultimate weapon. In this video, you will learn to stop fighting your loneliness and start wielding it as the source of your greatest power. The higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes. This is true on mountains, and it is true in life. As you accumulate knowledge, power, and insight, you begin to outgrow your environment. The conversations that once stimulated you now seem shallow. The ambitions of your peers seem small. You try to share what you see, but your words are met with blank stares or, worse, with fear. They call you intense. They call you intimidating. They call you too much. And so you learn to be quiet. You learn to wear a mask of simplicity to fit in. This creates a silent, knowing chasm between who you are and who you pretend to be. A profound intellectual loneliness that is far more painful than mere physical solitude. You are an eagle forced to live among chickens, and you are starving for the sky. Today, we redefine that sky. We will take your greatest pain and transform it into your greatest strategic advantage. We will examine the 3 sacred powers that are only granted to the solitary mind. First, the power of the balcony, the gift of pure observation. Second, the power of the throne, the freedom of unfettered decision. Third, the power of the veil, the strength of unknowable intentions. To understand this power, we must look at the life of our teacher, Machiavelli himself. When he wrote his masterpiece, The Prince, he was not a celebrated advisor in a grand palace. He was a broken man. He had been stripped of his power, tortured, and exiled to a small farm. He was utterly alone. His friends had abandoned him. The city he served had cast him out. Every evening, he would retreat to his study. He wrote that he would shed his muddy, common clothes and put on the robes of a courtier. And there, in the profound silence of his solitude, he would commune with the great minds of history. He would analyze the rise and fall of empires. He would dissect the moves of kings and popes. His loneliness was not an obstacle. It was the very condition that made his insight possible. Stripped of the daily noise of politics, free from the need to please any master, he could see the machine of power with a terrifying, inhuman clarity. His exile was not a prison. It was his watchtower. From that lonely tower, he saw the truth, a truth he gave to us. He is the ultimate proof that the deepest wisdom is found not in the crowd, but in the wilderness. The first power of solitude is the gift of sight. True, unclouded sight. Imagine a grand, chaotic ballroom dance. The person on the dance floor is caught up in the music, the movement, the immediate presence of their partner. They are a participant. They feel the energy, but they cannot see the overall pattern. Now, imagine yourself on a balcony, looking down on that same dance. From this position of detachment, you see everything. You see the couples who are perfectly in sync and the ones who are stepping on each other's toes. You see the lonely figures at the edges of the room, waiting for an invitation. You see the predators circling, looking for a weakness. You see the hidden alliances forming in quiet corners. You, the observer, understand the dance far better than any of the dancers. This is the power of strategic solitude. To be in the group is to be infected by its emotions, its biases, its groupthink. Your mind becomes clouded by the noise of participation. To be alone is to be on the balcony. Solitude is the quarantine that protects your clarity of thought. It allows you to see the social and political landscape not as a chaotic mess, but as a system of patterns and forces. For as those who draw landscapes place themselves below in the plain to contemplate the nature of the mountains, and to contemplate the nature of the plains, place themselves high up on the mountains. Similarly, to know well the nature of the people, one must be a prince, and to know well the nature of princes, one must be of the people. Niccolo Machiavelli. Solitude allows you to occupy both positions at once. You can descend into the plain to interact, but your true home, your place of analysis, is high on the mountain. From there, you see what the players themselves cannot. You see their unconscious motivations. You see the long-term consequences of their short-sighted actions. You see the hidden currents of power that pull them left and right. This sight is the foundation of all strategy. Here is your first mission. Practice strategic withdrawal. Once a week, go to a public place where people interact: a busy cafe, a park, a town square. Go alone. Do not bring a book. Do not bring your phone. Your only task is to sit for 30 minutes and observe. Don't judge. Don't create stories. Just watch. Watch the patterns of movement. Watch the micro-expressions. Watch who has influence and who is ignored. You are not being antisocial. You are training your mind to see the world from the balcony. You have learned to step away from the dance floor to find the balcony. You are training your eye to see the hidden patterns of the world. Your sight is becoming sharper. But sight without action is just passive observation. The next power of solitude is what allows you to translate that sight into decisive, world-changing action. It is the freedom to act without compromise. The second power of solitude is the freedom of unfettered decision. A leader surrounded by friends, allies, and dependents is a compromised leader. Every decision they make is weighed down by the heavy chains of loyalty and affection. They must consider the feelings of their friends. They must repay political favors. They must avoid offending their allies. Their decisions become a messy, suboptimal compromise, designed to keep the most people happy, rather than to achieve the best result. The solitary leader is free from these chains. Their loyalty is not to individuals, but to the mission, to the truth, to the cold, hard logic of victory. This allows them to make the hard, unpopular, but ultimately correct decisions that others are too emotionally entangled to even consider. Solitude is the forge of conviction. Think of a surgeon. A surgeon is not supposed to operate on their own family members. Why? Because their emotional attachment would cloud their judgment. Their hand might hesitate. They might choose a less painful, but less effective procedure. Their love would become a strategic liability. The solitary leader maintains this necessary surgical detachment from their decisions. They can see a failing strategy, a toxic team member, or a flawed plan and cut it away, cleanly and without sentimentality, for the health of the entire organism. A prince, therefore, must not have any other object nor any other thought than war and its order and discipline. Niccolo Machiavelli. Your war is your ultimate goal, your life's mission. Solitude ensures that this mission is your only true master. It protects you from the emotional blackmail of friendship and the tyranny of popular opinion. You are free to do what is effective, not just what is popular. This is a terrifying freedom, and a necessary one for anyone who wishes to build something of lasting value. Your second mission is to practice the surgeon's question. The next time you face a difficult decision, especially one involving other people, take yourself into a state of solitude. Close the door. Turn off your phone. Then, ask yourself this question. If I had no history with these people, no fear of their reaction, and no need for their approval, what would be the most effective, logical course of action to serve the mission? This trains your mind to separate strategic reality from social obligation. You are learning to see with clarity and decide with conviction. You are turning the pain of isolation into the power of detachment. This is the high, hard path of the leader. If you are ready to trade the comfort of the crowd for the clarity of the peak, write, "I walk the high path" in the comments. Let's see how many are willing to make the climb. You have learned to see from the balcony and to decide from the throne. You have embraced the clarity and freedom that solitude brings. Now we come to the final, most subtle, and perhaps most powerful aspect of this state. It is not just about how you see the world, but about how the world sees or fails to see you. The third and final power of solitude is the power of mystery. A person who is constantly surrounded by others, constantly talking, constantly sharing, is a known quantity. They are an open book. Their thoughts, their desires, their weaknesses, and their next moves are easily predicted. They are transparent, and therefore, they are vulnerable. The solitary figure is the opposite. They are a closed book, written in a language no one else can read. Their silence is a blank canvas onto which others project their own fears, hopes, and insecurities. What are they thinking? What are they planning? Are they a friend or a foe? This fundamental uncertainty is a potent form of power. It keeps rivals off balance. It makes them hesitate. It forces them to make mistakes based on assumptions, while you operate with the clarity of your own secret knowledge. Think of an iceberg. The person who lives in the crowd shows their entire being. They are all surface. The solitary leader is an iceberg. People see the small, calm, visible tip. But the true danger, the true power, lies in the vast, unseen mass below the surface. This is the realm of your private thoughts, your deep analysis, your secret strategies. Your solitude is the veil that conceals this power until the moment you choose to unleash it. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Niccolo Machiavelli. The crowd makes you either a lion or a fox. Solitude allows you to be both. In public, you can be the lion, projecting simple strength. But in private, in your solitude, you cultivate the mind of the fox, seeing the traps that others miss. Your inscrutability is your greatest defense. You cannot be easily manipulated because no one knows what you truly value. You cannot be easily countered because no one knows your true plan. You become a strategic black box to your opponents. Your final mission is to practice the information diet. For the next week, make a conscious effort to share less. This is not about being rude or secretive. It is about being deliberate. Answer questions directly, but without unnecessary elaboration. Resist the urge to think out loud and share your half-formed plans with others. Treat your thoughts and intentions as a scarce, valuable resource. Let your actions speak for you, and let your silence create your strength. For your entire life, you have viewed your loneliness as a painful void, an absence of connection. You have seen it as a problem to be solved. But this is the final illusion you must shatter. The loneliness of the leader is not an absence. It is a presence. It is the presence of a sovereign mind. It is not the empty space where others are not. It is the full, rich space where you finally can be. You are now armed with a new understanding. Your solitude is not your prison. It is your fortress. This is your new code. Seek the balcony. Regularly create strategic solitude to observe the patterns of the world without being caught in them. Rule from the throne. Use your detachment to make clear, effective decisions, free from the compromises of social obligation. Wear the veil. Control the flow of information. Let your silence build your mystery and your strength. Be an enigma. The path of the leader, the innovator, the true strategist is and will always be a lonely one. But it is not a path of despair. It is the path of clarity, of conviction, and of power. The crowd offers the warmth of belonging, but at the cost of your vision. The peak offers the cold of solitude, but it gives you the world at your feet. You have been given the map to the high path. The rest is up to you. If you are ready to embrace the strategic power of your solitude, write, "I am the watcher on the wall," in the comments below. Welcome to the peak. Subscribe to the Thinker's Codex. Your training has just begun.